with you. I know you've won two of these already. Probably seems like a long time ago. And is it more special today? Kind of. I'm assuming you're a senior. This is kind of this was kind of your final college race versus coming in as a freshman and maybe not always understanding how big NCAAs are and stuff. So compare this one to the two that you won as a freshman.
Yeah, I think this one was pretty special. It was pretty cool to finish out my college season with a win as well, especially since I did it freshman year as well. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like freshman year I just didn't expect it as much, I guess. But it was pretty special freshman year as well. That was like pretty much the best thing I could possibly hope for. And then we actually won championships as well, and as a team, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, today was awesome as well.
And take us through your two runs. I know, from talking to the Vermont guys, like it felt like it wasn't the ideal conditions. Take us through those two runs and how you kind of navigated through the course.
Yeah, first run was pretty good. I had bib 6, so the snow held up pretty well. It was like there was a couple grooves and a couple holes in the course, honestly, that I wasn't super expecting, because in inspection the snow looked super hard. But other than that, it was good. First run was good. Second one was definitely more grooved. Yeah, a bit of a roller coaster, but it was good. Yeah, good course set by my coach.
There you go. Nice transition. So Andy, talk about you guys' day. You pick up the most points on the day. You win the mythical Alpine Championship. I know you guys have done that a lot recently. So, just talk about Amelia and your whole team today.
I think if I start off with Amelia, she was just spectacular this whole season, as she has been for most of her career. So to see her show up and finish it out the way that she did, I honestly didn't know that she won by so much until the awards ceremony. My phone wasn't working up on the hill. I had to ask that she actually won by 2 seconds before she went to get the award, but I could see it from the skiing that she was going to be somewhat untouchable out there. The conditions, they were tough for everybody, but her skiing just made it look easy. She handled every piece of terrain, top to bottom, and pretty obvious by the time she got to the finish that she'd wrapped it up. And looking at the results of the entire team, I was a little bit surprised, to be honest. I mean, I've seen them ski day in and day out, but to see them charge forward from pretty much every bib moving up and earning those 3 first-team All-Americans honors was just, it was shocking to me. I expected this and I hoped for it, but to see it come to fruition like it did out there today was really fulfilling. Those guys did a great job this season.
Amelia, what is it about Canadian women's alpine skiers? I mean, you have you and your sister, maybe a few others. Cassidy obviously won 2 days ago. Steph had 2 good races. What's going on in the water up there?
I don't know. Yeah, like I had the girl in second today too, Justine Clément. She was with me over in Europe a bit this season as well, starting some World Cups. And yeah, it's really awesome that we have a cool group of Canadians, and we're doing all pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something in the water, in the air. I don't know.
Andy, you might have a better perspective on that too, or a good perspective on that too.
Yeah, I think their national team is doing a great job of working with us. They've probably been one of the better national teams in the world to cooperate and allow these athletes, access to come back and work with our teams and still be considerate of their academic requirements. So those things don't build up and become a stress point some point through the year. But I think their leniency in letting the athletes come back and forth as well as they have this season, maybe not into Canada, seems to be a bit of a struggle, but at least letting the Canadians go over to Europe and return to ski for us seems to have been seamless. It, I think, takes off some of the pressures that student athletes see. So that's probably a big piece of it, is their support of NCAA skiing, and it's showing up on the results from the women to the men, freshmen through seniors. It's just refreshing to see, and definitely a country that we're interested in continuing this type of relationship with.
And not to make any political statements, but could the United States take a key from Canada in that?
I mean, maybe, but it seems like the U.S. team has so many more athletes that are on their national team. It may be more difficult for them to work as easily as the small cohesive group of the Canadians, which have considerably less athletes. So
Gotcha.
hopefully, I hope that's the future for the Americans, that we do work just as easy as some of the Canadians have, and have the future success of professionals after our sport. But time will tell. We're pushing for that, Curtis.
Yeah, absolutely. Final one for me, and then we can open it up for both of you. I mean, I know, and really, you've been going back and forth from Europe. I know Skiing World Cup. Is it an accomplishment to get to this point, to be done with the Alpine season, getting what looked on paper like almost a regular season, and you had 10 races, 5 meets. Obviously, like skiing, on the same day twice is different, but is it an accomplishment to get, especially with the pandemic, to get to this point?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it was very impressive that the college circuit got off so well this year, and all the rest of the races that we've been able to do. I honestly, at the start of the season, wasn't expecting to have this full of a season. So yeah, I think it's been really awesome, and yeah, everyone, like all the organizers, have done so well. And I know all the racers super appreciate it, because a lot of people aren't getting to race a lot this season.
Andy, what do you feel about that one?
I think there's a handful more to it. These athletes have really gone above and beyond, and maybe it was because we starved them from races for 8 months between last March and November, December. But they really stepped up in all of the protocols that were required of them, the limits of van occupancy, just getting to and from the hill. But when you really boil down what they were capable of doing this year, taking so many online classes, doing those academic rigors from the van up and back and on the side of ski hills, it actually provided them probably with more opportunity to train than they have been before. Seeing them jump through so many hoops to end up at this place, and to think that we were the last championship being hosted or being held by NCA, cut short halfway through last year, and then the first championship for NCA to then be held again. It's pretty gratifying to look at all that was accomplished in our sports. So if I really boil it down, I'm proud of what they've done. And for our program at Denver, over the last 12 months, we've posted 0 positive results or 0 positive tests, been able to take care of ourselves and take care of each other. So I think that in itself is something to be celebrated, aside from the athletic success they were able to attain.
Sure. Any questions from anybody else for these two?
I wanted to ask Amelia 2 things quickly, hopefully. The one is the same that I asked Matthias about, that approach on the second run. A little different for you. You had such a lead, but then you also, sometimes when you ski conservatively, that, in a rough slalom, that can bite you. What were you thinking, even with your big lead, in the start for that second run?
Yeah, I honestly definitely didn't have any plans to ski conservatively, even with the lead, because anything can happen in slalom, and in these type of conditions, really anything can happen. So yeah, my plan was just to ski as aggressively as I could and work with the terrain, and yeah.
Nice. Well, it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, the one other thing is just that just to sort of circle back on the going back and forth between Europe and US, as you do racing on the World Cup, which is unbelievable, while going to school. How much harder was it this year? I mean, can you give us a sense of like how many times you sort of went back and forth across the pond in some sort of extreme? I know like Cassidy landed the night before the training day, and what were some of the amazing feats of travel and logistics that you had to do?
Yeah, I also landed 3 days ago now, same day as Cassidy. So we both traveled back from a World Cup together. But yeah, honestly, we traveled back and forth less this season than what would be in regular seasons. And I think that kind of made it a bit harder for especially the Canadians and Americans on the World Cup circuit, because we didn't get to see family as much and didn't get to be as home as much. And that definitely took a toll a bit. But other than that, it was relatively pretty normal. Like the World Cup circuit was quite normal besides having all the COVID protocols and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say that's about it.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Thank you.
Amelia, I have a question for you. Have you had a chance, or maybe you are going to have a chance, to kind of reflect on your senior season, the championships, your career as a whole at DU during these last couple of days, or was that kind of in the back burner? Worry about that after, now that this race is over?
I feel like I'll have more chance to reflect on it now. I think I was definitely just kind of like keeping myself building up to the slalom a bit and yeah, trying to keep the energy going. But yeah, I think tomorrow and the next couple of days, once I take a bit of a breather and reflect a bit, then yeah, there'll be a lot more reflecting. I don't know, just it seems like it's gone by too quickly, to be honest. Yeah, but it's honestly changed so much. Like I was talking with a couple of the other athletes on the hill today, and there's only a handful of us that were there at NCAA's my freshman year and like this year, the senior year. So it's kind of weird to see how much it's changed, but it doesn't really feel like it's changed. But yeah.
Were you able to have a pretty good then focused mindset in the starting gate, especially after that second run, knowing that this was it, or whatever? Were you pretty sure, like, just do my race, win, and move on?
I'm sorry, I kind of missed the first part of your question.
Yeah, sorry about that. Were you able to have a pretty focused mindset in the starting gate on your second run, knowing that this was it for you?
Yeah, I don't think I really thought about it that it was my last race as a college athlete until I was done, to be honest. And except for that, my teammates were all in the start with me and like just I don't know, told me to have fun, and that was pretty special to have them there. But I think I still had a good mindset. Definitely used to being able to like focus myself. So yeah, I think my mindset was still pretty good and not too emotional yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions for these two? All right, I think we're good.